8 o'clock in the morning on day 152 at the Beach Hill Hostel. Waiting on breakfast to be ready, and then we will do a little shuttle to the trail and try to hike about 16 miles today. I got to sleep in the big house upstairs. Shared a room with LJ, of course, and Mosey and Nada slept in one of these little bunkhouses out here, these cabins, barns, whatever. Have yet to hear a report on that. I know that they weren't air conditioned, so they did sleep with the doors open. Hopefully that was more comfortable than sleeping in a tent. Pretty nice little place. Owner seems nice. Everybody's looking at the camera. What's happening?
Lots of good food.
Do you not want to?
Some parts of the AT aren't very pretty. Engineering. Hard to hear it over the car noise, but there's a hum. And there's static crackling. Wow, this is the top of the first bump. Second bump is right there. And we have to go down before we can go up. Hello, view. You know, I wandered out here and I wasn't even looking at the trail. I don't see where it goes. Am I off trail? I have hiked this section of the AT before, in a section hike where we attempted the Triple Crown, and I remember it was October and it was raining, and a bunch of us stopped here under this overhang and shivered and had a snack, and then hiked on. I say attempted a Triple Crown because that's what I did. I did not complete it. I was with Shoelace and KJ and Woodchuck and Woodchuck's son, I guess, and maybe somebody, I can't remember if Yard Sale was with us or not. And we started there in Daleville and hiked along here, went over Tinker Cliff, went over McAfee Knob, and then went to Four Pines Hostel, where we were gonna spend the night, and then the next day continue on to Dragon Tooth, hike a loop there and back to Four Pines. My car was parked at Four Pines, and that was acorns on the ground. So my car was parked at Four Pines, and what did I do? I went over Tinker Cliff, I went over McAfee Knob. We spent one night on the trail during that. Got to Four Pines where my car was, and I got in my car and I drove home. I did the math and said I could be in my bed by 11 o'clock at night, or I could sleep here on the cold ground in my tent. And I bailed and went home. And I have since regretted that. Just could have spent another 24 hours and had done the whole Triple Crown. So that's one of the things that I keep telling myself about this thru hike. I'm notorious for skipping out on a hike as soon as I walk to my car, that I'm going to finish the hike this time regardless of how easy it would be to get home. It certainly would have been easy today. LJ was right there with the Prius. We could have been home in about 5 hours, and I would have always regretted not continuing on the thru hike. You know, we're this close. 740 miles from the finish. That's a long ways, but still, keep got to tell myself, don't stop before the miracle happens. Look at these rocks. Guess we got a lot of rocks. I thought we left these slab rocks in Maine. This is interesting terrain here in central Virginia. Really different than Northern Virginia was. Oh, maybe it's just this particular day, but I think that with the Triple Crown is all about these big rocks. Look at that, we had to go over it twice just to get back on the trail. 12:30, so I thought I'd have some lunch here. Nice overlook. Hello, Virginia. Sign says Tinker Cliffs 0.5 miles. I thought it would be a little farther than that at this point, but I'll take it. It has been about 1.5 miles since I filled up with water back there, and 1,000 feet elevation. I think we got about half of that here in the next 500 or 0.5 miles. We are walking along Tinker Cliffs. I'm not exactly sure where the summit is. Oh my gosh, look what's crawling on me.
Praying mantis? Where's that?
Oh, where'd he go?
He's right here. Oh, who's that?
Yeah, that's some kind of praying mantis. Hello, bug. Oh, he's fast. She's fast. I think it's called a walking stick. Anyway, gonna step over this little big crack, and welcome to Tinker Cliff. Don't do that. These cliffs, they just run on for, I don't know, a quarter of a mile or maybe a half a mile. There's a geodetic survey marker. If I can get a hold of my phone here and hold this out over the cliff a little bit. So it's just far enough that if you fell, you would die. So I'm not planning on dying. I'm gonna back away from that a little bit. Scares me. A dirt bike track?
You see that over there?
Yep.
That's the only thing I can think it could be.
Pretty spectacular. White blazes come right out to the edge. Like I said, the trail goes on and on. Cliffs go on and on. Several folks out here today, I guess. So about 6 people up here right now so far. And it appears that we're starting to go down slightly, so that's the end of the summit. This is the first jewel in the Triple Crown of Virginia. I believe it starts with Tinker's Cliff, and it's the jewel that we're going to cover today. Tomorrow we will do jewel number 2, which is McAfee Knob, and then the next day jewel number 3, which is the Dragon's Tooth. 3 different mountains, 3 different rock formations. Oh, all kinds of big rocks here. Trail is on this sideways slab rock. That's fortunately not wet and slippery today. Oh, looks like I could camp right there, but I'm not. Pulled into Campbell Shelter about 5:30. They had a couple of tent spots there, so Mosey and I set up. Or Mosey's still working on that. And I walked down here 1/10 of a mile, get some water out of this here pipe. And that looks like it's gonna work. I have finished my dinner and put my food in the bear box. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 so people here tonight at this shelter and nearby tenting area. Kind of a little mini bubble, a couple people that we've hiked with off and on for the past couple days. But time to go to bed for me. Whatever these flowers are, they sure do seem to grow well here next to the privy.